Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning.
As we were just talking about, we have already had you on the What Really Matters podcast, which was great. But you're actually doing GAP.
Yep.
Which at the time when we filmed it, we didn't really know if it was definitely going to happen.
Still in the works, yeah.
Yeah. So now we're just coming up to halfway through the midway point.
Yeah, I'd say about.
Not far off. And we're speaking to everyone, basically, all the young people that have done GAP or are doing GAP in the middle of it, just to get your thoughts, so we can hopefully improve it and find out what's gone well. Be kind.
I will.
Be honest. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Be honest. You say what you need to say. So, the first question: what were you doing before GAP, and how did it make you feel?
So before GAP, I didn't really know because I just finished college. So I was seeing what I would do, seeing where I could go, kind of doing odd jobs here and there, earn a bit of money in between, doing not much, and waiting to see whether GAP would take off because I've been along for the ride, apparently.
Did you consider then, because there was no guarantee that GAP was going to happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, were you thinking, like, what am I going to do? Did you have any kind of thoughts of what the next steps might be? Or not?
I was looking, so I was still doing detached youth work on a Thursday, and I was planning to continue that and see if I could grow that or get into some kind of youth work anyway if I couldn't do GAP. So I was exploring possibilities there, looking into them mainly and seeing whether it would be necessary.
Wow. I mean, I could talk more about that. I think it is necessary for obvious reasons. But, I mean, let's ask you then. So what have you liked about GAP so far? And then afterwards, I'll ask you what you think could be improved.
I've liked all the young people we've been with. So the group as a whole, we work well together and we get on really nicely. And yeah, there's a bit of banter, but that's just all banter. And it's just a nice atmosphere, even when we are trying to get down to something serious. And everything that we've tried to achieve as a group in GAP has been, for the most part, successful. So I think we work really well as a team. It's really nice spending time with everybody. And we're learning a lot, which is really nice. But we're learning it in a more relaxed setting than we would if we were to go into college or go into some specialised course, which wouldn't allow us to meet everyone else as well, because we've all got different interests, different passions, and it's great.
I mean, it's interesting you say that, because the other thing is you do literally all come from different parts of the city, different backgrounds, different cultures.
Yeah.
The differences are huge.
Yep.
But you really have gelled, like, as a group.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you think that's happened? I mean, is there a specific thing you can put your finger on, or?
I think it's because we all recognise GAP's going to work.
Oh, wow.
And we all know it's going to get us where we want to go, whether that be through some long-winded route or not. We don't know, but we know it's going to help us in the future. We know it's worth doing and we all want to partake in it.
That's good to hear. Bloody hell. Great. It's working. Well, you know, like I said, we are only halfway through. So we're learning, is the truth of the matter, which is part of the reason for talking to you now and talking to everyone else. So you were saying about the learning. Is there, what parts of the learning would you say are things that have stood out for you? Like, not to put you on the spot, but...
Some of the techniques of working with people, like when we went into Broadmead and we were asking people questions. I've used that skill since to talk to young people, talk to adults about different projects, or when I'm doing detached work. I've learned different techniques that I can use when I'm working at the youth club that I now work at on a Tuesday night. And I've learned how to talk to people better and how it's best to talk to some people and how to be more understanding of everybody's situations, because everybody comes from completely different backgrounds.
Good to hear. I mean, I'll tell you why it's good to hear, because purposely, the first term, which had a lot of that learning in it, was specific. It's all, when I say experiential learning, it's all doing things. So hopefully everyone can get involved in it. There's no things that are barriers to people getting involved. And sometimes with that, some people that are used to kind of education in that kind of rigid format, they might be like, oh, well, they're just talking about things. It's all very relaxed. They're discussing stuff. They're using a talking stick. They're doing...
Yeah. I think that's why you have so much attention from all of us, because for a lot of them who didn't know about GAP before they joined, it was a shock to the system, I think, because that we are used to school regulations and sitting on a desk and having to be quiet and write everything down, whereas GAP is you talk about everything to make sure everyone understands things in a way that they understand it.
Again, that is good. It's good feedback. I guess that's the other thing as well, that the reason why we do that, because we know that it builds relationships as we go. So you're learning, you're building relationships at the same time. Things I said to you before, and I know I've said it to other people, and I flipping well know that people are not using their reflective logs, diaries or whatever. But the fact that you said there's things you've been able to use in youth club and stuff like that, because all of these different little 15-minute, 20-minute exercises, different things, they're all things. There's the toolkit of a superhero to go back into youth provisions, education, youth clubs, all those kind of things. So it's good to hear that stuff is helping you. I suppose directly, people that do the programme might go off and do various different things. Yeah. The fact that you're specifically wanting to do youth work, and you're part of the reason why the programme has been designed. Yeah. Because there wasn't the programmes out there. And to be honest, the programmes that are offered don't necessarily, are offered now, they don't necessarily give you those practical things, activities that you can go into a club and use them. You said to me the other day you were doing something at your placement. We'll go on to this stuff in a minute. And you were asked to just like straight away to do an activity or something. And you kind of seen the shock on people's faces from the club, and you're like, no problem. And you just cracked out a couple of games or whatever, different things. Yeah. That's the point. Like, people need to actually be able to do that kind of work, and hopefully this will set you up for it.
Yeah. And it's the things we're learning, it's not like it's bogus things that don't work. Like the talking stick, it seems so weird when we did it. Because we went out into town, we carved a stick and then we decorated it with wool and things. But I used the premise of that at my placement at one point, and I didn't have a stick on me, so I used a little ceramic llama. Yeah. But it worked. Yeah. People respected the llama, as I was saying.
And all this, I mean, this is the things we can learn so much from people. I mean, that's the Native American Indian thing, to make sure that everyone has their voice heard. And let's be honest, I think we both know that in group settings, everyone's got different confidences, different things of going on in their life, all the rest of it. Yeah. Not everyone's going to talk up, but everyone's voice matters. Yeah. And stuff like that is a way of getting their voice heard. Okay. Well, I mean, that all sounds great. Hit me with it. What could be improved?
Personally, I really like how the course is going overall, but maybe a little bit of preparation for us about what's up to come. Like the social action project, you did prepare us well, but I mean, I would have liked to know who I was with at least a week before we had to start, because it was a lot of, you're in these groups, come up with something, and then tomorrow you're out there. And that worked. And in the end, our social action projects all did amazingly and all had completely different impacts, but for the right reasons. But I think a few people would have liked a bit more kind of preparation of who they're going to be with and how they get on with them, and how to kind of, because we all have to work with different people differently. Because we all have different people, how we get on with them better, and some we don't.
Yeah, no. Well, look. That is worth knowing. And I suppose my thing to say about that, and you know we're coming up to the next... Yeah. God, what's the word? I can't remember. Iteration, is it a word? Do you know what I mean? The next thing, which is going to be a social enterprise project. So it's kind of like the next
level up
of that. what's next level is different.
Yeah.
So you're going to be in different groups with that. I guess the thing is with a social action, community-based social action project, we done a session where we put you into groups before the holidays and we got you to do your blue sky thinking.
Yeah.
I suppose in my head I thought they now know who's in their groups. They're coming up with that blue sky thinking, and then when they meet after the holidays, it's then about funneling down what all those different ideas are to something that's manageable.
Yeah.
It's interesting hearing you say that, because in fairness, your group, I think, honestly, I spent a bit more time with your group.
Yeah.
It felt like we went through that process really well. We at the end of each of those sessions, you'd come up with different actions.
Yeah.
And then you'd all go off and do it. So it's
yeah, we got a luck of a draw. We got quite a good group, and
I think all the groups.
I think everyone would work with everyone. It's just sometimes, like, I work with Martin really well, but we do sometimes we have different opinions on things.
Yeah,
and we are both the word opinionated. We're both quite opinionated. So sometimes Solomon would have to be like, guys, we need to focus. Because me and Martin would be going off on a tangent.
There's nothing wrong with that. But this is the thing. So you're never going to be in the same group, right?
No.
So this time it would be different groups.
Yeah.
For example, this time it will be 2 groups.
Yeah.
So you will have me or Judith stuck with each group, which will help. Yeah. With not having, like 3 groups and us then moving around them. That'll benefit it. But the point is, I guess this is how I've tried to work it in my head. But and listen to what you're saying. I'm going to listen to that and try and make it happen. Yeah. Not try, I will. But the thing is, we've got a week left before the holidays anyway, so it might not be this time around. Is that when you go out to work, I think Dougie will tell you, you're not going to get on with everyone you work with. You're not going to get on with everyone in life. And to make sure that everyone goes into different groups. Yeah. With different people in the program at different times, it's you learning those life skills that you might be in a group that would be with someone, say you and Martin, you're both opinionated, or it might be that someone else is really, really quiet and shy in that group, and you support them to, to come out of their shell a bit more. Whatever those differences are, everyone has to deal with it. But I get it. I will. So I'm going to meet with Judith on Monday. Yeah. And we will get the group sorted so you'll know on Wednesday. And for the next action project, it's not going to matter anyway, because I've now decided we would do the environmental action project as one big group, as a massive celebration. Yeah. Is that helpful? Yes. But I get what you're saying. And I'll use that next time, if we're funded. Is there anything else that could be improved, do you think?
I don't personally think so. I think we have had our kind of ups and downs where we've had like timing issues and things, but those just need to be worked out between a group. That's not an issue with GAP. So no, not really. I like how GAP is at the moment, and I don't know what the other young people that are in it think, but I mean, I'm open to listening to whatever they think needs to be improved.
Yeah. Well,
but I like it as it is.
Great. Good to know. I mean, everyone's going to have different views, and that's all good. And we'll take all them on board and make changes as we need to. So you've had 2 mentors with GAP. How would you, so first of all, who are those mentors, and how do you think those mentors have helped you? What's gone well with that, and what could be improved, do you think? Honestly.
So my mentors are Amelia and Emily, which gets really confusing sometimes. And with Amelia, I have...
So Amelia's your kind of
youth mentor.
Youth voluntary sector kind of mentor, yeah.
And she's really helpful, and she has that connection to me with we both care about being in the outdoors and the environment and things. But she's a bit more on the side of... Obviously, I support protests against climate change, but she's more into that world, whereas I just want to get young people outdoors. And so sometimes there will be a bit of confusion on suggestions of where I should go and what I should kind of look into doing. But she has been really helpful. Like when I was looking for a placement, she sat me down and we literally sat down for 2 hours doing emails to potential places for placements. And she's really motivational in that she's like on it. She'll message me, making sure that like I'm okay, I'm still okay to meet up, I'm still doing whatever it is I need to do. So she works really well. And Emily, she's my business mentor.
Business mentor, yeah. So she's a CEO of Geiston, yeah. And
we get on really well. I don't entirely know if there's a kind of connection between us in what we want to do, because obviously she does software development or something.
Yeah.
And I outdoors, but we do get on really nice, and it's sometimes we're not sure what we're meant to do, but it's nice just having her to talk to if I get stuck with something, especially with this being kind of the business kind of part of GAP. It's nice to be able to talk to her about anything I find really confusing, because my brain is not built for business.
Well, I mean, and that is kind of part of it, because now with the social the entrepreneurship module and then the social enterprise stuff, she will have a better understanding on, business, running a business, setting stuff up, all those kind of things, what makes, things a success. Yeah. So definitely, ask her questions about those kind of things. It's good. I know. So we specifically we try to target different people to support different individuals. Yeah. We really have tried to tailor it, and I guess that's the thing for me. I know that your interest, your passion was young people outdoors.
Yep.
How do you kind of blend those things? Amelia, I knew would be more kind of on the sustainability, climate change kind of world, but then this is where we're going. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So if you're going to work in that kind of area,
it's going to be a lot of that. Yeah.
That will be part of what you're going to do within an educational space. And then obviously you've got the youth work side of things where you're well connected in that work. You've done lots of stuff with us. Obviously I've supported you in different ways for years. But you've done things with other organisations as well. So it was chucking it out there to see if that might change maybe your angle of where you were going. But no, that all seems good to me. What do you think you would have done without GAP?
Probably try to look for a job in youth work, or ended up just getting some form of full-time job. Because at the end of the day, we have bills need to pay and we need to move on with our lives. So if GAP hadn't happened, I would have just found a way to move on and do something, whatever it was. I would have hoped to do youth work, but wouldn't have been guaranteed. So.
Yeah, well, nothing's guaranteed, is it, in this world, and especially in the youth work sector, because, as you know, from hearing me crap on for ages, it's not straightforward, unfortunately, because it should be. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. So I think this links with the placements.
Yeah.
So just so people know, you're doing your placement now. This is term 3 of GAP. What is the placement?
My placement is at Hartcliffe Club for Young People with the SEND group on a Tuesday night, and we support people with additional needs and disabilities and kind of get them in a more social space and get them to spend time with other people, and we try and get them to try new things, and they seem to really like it. So,
and your experience so far, I spoke to you the other day, and it sounds like it's been a positive one.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they want you to continue.
Yes.
Yes. So the placement, based on what you wanted to do afterwards, I know it's just one opportunity, and it's not a full-time job. But as I said before, it's those different opportunities
Yeah.
will end up going towards other longer term opportunities.
Yeah.
So do you want to explain what they've said to you so far?
So from what I've the conversations I've had, they really like having me on board, and I'm really happy with that. And the young people like me as well, which is nice, because some of them are kind of slow to open up, and I've managed to surprise them a couple of times with what I do know about youth work sector and what I can do. And as far as I know, I'm going to be carrying on Tuesday night until I don't know.
And Webb's going to chat to you directly about pay.
Yeah.
I mean, as well as that, you know that the obviously the opportunity with us,
Yeah,
Grassroot Communities, will be continuing, so you're being paid for that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it. I'm not saying that people are going to see this, but I'll put it out there because I know that the whole thing around the nature-based stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, there's different options you can go down. Do you want to let people know about an opportunity you've now managed to nail down for after Gap? Come on, hit them with it.
So in August, I'm going with a charity called British Exploring Society, and I'm going trekking in Canada for 3 weeks. And it's for young people between 16 and 25, I think, to get them a chance to explore places they wouldn't have explored because they probably couldn't afford it or just didn't have the means. And it gets them an opportunity to explore somewhere completely new and try something completely different to all those who wouldn't have been able to do it before. Amazing.
I'm well jealous. I want to come. But it's a life-changing thing. It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. I'm just so happy to see the journey of where things are going. So what I was going to say is, I know, because you've got lots of things going on as well. Yeah. You're very busy. You care at home, for your sister and help with mum. Various things. Well done for passing your driving test recently, by the way.
Thank you.
Independence is coming your way.
Yep.
But with you did a dog walking as well. You started up your own little enterprise.
Yeah, by the way, I do dog walking on the side.
Think about all this stuff with your social enterprise about how that.
Yeah.
So there's a few things happening, but I wanted to connect you previously with nature-based environmental organisations for your placement, but you didn't. You've got a placement that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I put it out there because I know Heart of BS13.
Yeah.
Have got a huge community kind of farm.
Yeah.
And they're now working on it and getting us up together. And if they ever want to employ anyone or talk to Catherine about opportunities at some point, she would be gold. And I'm not just saying that. We were going to contact you about the placement, but it felt like, it's good to do something in another youth work setting.
Yeah.
But those are the next connections I think you can make, because then you're blending that youth work experience and skills that you've got, then with some of the nature-based stuff.
Yeah.
And you already got a load of that as well. She built a roundhouse with us at the age of flipping 9 or 7 or whatever it was. Do you know what I mean? And the various other things that happen there. So it is. I'd hope, and let me know what you think. Because without me answering the question, by the end of Gap, that you have got an opportunity based on your passion. You've already got some of those opportunities, but something that's longer term. And maybe some of that would be good to have a little bit of the nature stuff with it as well.
Yeah.
How has Gap made you feel about the future?
Well, it made me excited because I don't know where I'm going to go. All the things I've done in Gap have led me to my placement, and my placement might lead me to somewhere completely different. I don't know. Hopefully it will go in the direction of getting young people in the outdoors. And if not, then I'll work my way into going that way. But I'm excited.
I don't think you need any plans, to be honest with you. Based on everything you said, you've been going in that direction for quite a while. You put the time and effort into everything that you do. It's noticed by people. You will get opportunities.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I've been able to be part of it. Thank you.
No problem.
Cool.